Hey, welcome to the setup video for RadialZ on ZBrush 2026. I have another video that will cover how to set it up for 2022, 23, 24, 25, and so on. But this is specifically for 2026 because it's the version of ZBrush that actually has Python integrated. So this is the RadialZ app. This is where you can change all your settings and set everything up. But in this video, we're going to focus just on setting up the bridge, the connection to ZBrush, the hotkeys, and syncing your library. So if you just activated your RadialZ app, you might see something like this, which is a little walkthrough that basically takes you through everything that I'm covering in these videos anyway. So you can go through that as well. If you click on Let's Go, the first thing that that tells you to do is to check that this is green. So this is what we're going to do. And this is for ZBrush 2026. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this because that's what I'm going to show you in this video anyway. And if you go here to the left-hand side, you notice I have the ZBrush setup selected. So this is the most important step so that RadialZ can actually communicate with ZBrush. So the plugin itself and the connection with ZBrush is already created. It does it during the process of installation, so it's all good to go. It is green, so it means everything works, everything is set up. If it is not green, make sure that you click on reinstall and it should be okay. So in my case, it's perfectly fine. I'm running 2026. I'll show you. This is ZBrush, and you see at the top left corner, it says 2026.2, right? So because this is, it says that it's installed, right? It says it is green. I should be able to go to the plugin, and you see the C plugin palette here, and look for RadialZ. However, RadialZ is not here, right? That is because I run the installation process, and in that case as well, the setup of the bridge while ZBrush was open. So this is a very important case that I wanted to show. It might not be your case. You might have, ZBrush was closed when you did this, and you wouldn't have this issue. But if you had ZBrush running and then you install RadialZ, as it says here, you need to restart ZBrush if it was open. So I just wanted to show you this because sometimes I've got some emails to some people saying I couldn't get it working, but when they restart ZBrush, it works. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to close ZBrush. There you go. Again, the bridge is already connected. We just need to restart ZBrush so that ZBrush basically reads the file. And this is the case for any plugin that you install in ZBrush. You have to reinstall it. So that ZBrush, when it loads, it sort of calls the plugin palette and finds it in there. All right, so I just opened ZBrush. Let's go ahead and open a default project. There we go. And let's go ahead now and check the C plugin. Let's drop it here on the right-hand side. And now you see here at the bottom, it says RadialZ with a Z. And that's it. This whole thing, this whole setup, that's all you need to do to get this working. All right, so that's it. This confirms that the plugin has been installed. So we should have a connection now between ZBrush and RadialZ. We just need to set up a couple more things, which is very, very important, which are the hotkeys. So let's go back to RadialZ. So I just wanted to show you that, the plugin is actually working. Now, the next very important thing is that you set up the hotkey, which is basically whenever you choose a brush in RadialZ, we send that hotkey to ZBrush and would tell, okay, we need to pick up this brush. So scroll down a little bit here. Until you see this section right here that says the ZBrush hotkey. So this is the secret connection key, right? So we need to make sure that whatever we assign in this bridge hotkey is the same thing as it says in here that we assign to the load brush, right? So let's go ahead and assign the bridge hotkey here first. I'm going to click on record. And by the way, the recommended hotkey is F8, but you can use anything from F6 all the way to F12. Anything from F1 to F5 is something that ZBrush already uses. So let me just show you, just in case you didn't know about this. So if you press F1, it's going to bring up this quick palette in ZBrush. If you press F2, it's going to bring the actual brush palette, which you can also bring with the letter B. If you press F4, for example, it brings the alpha palette. So those are things that are baked or already part of ZBrush. So we don't want to mess with anything that is kind of like default setting in ZBrush. So anything from F6 all the way to F12 would be good. So I just recommended F8, but it could be anything else. You can also choose something like Alt L, for example, or Alt J. It depends on your setup. I would recommend to use something simple like F8. However, you could use something with a modifier like this. If for whatever reason you encounter some issues that it's not loading or it's not choosing the brush that you want, or whatever the case might be, chances are that there is a conflict with a shortcut that you already have and that you don't remember that uses this. So I can use Alt J in my case because I know for sure and I've already tested it and I know that I don't have it anywhere in my ZBrush library or anything like that. But just to be completely safe, I'm going to press F8. That's it. So this is the whole process of setting up the hotkey here in RadialZ. That's done. We don't need to save or anything. It's already saved in there. And now we're going to go back into ZBrush and we're going to look for this, which is the RadialZ plugin. I've already shown you that anyway. So here, I'm going to open up the RadialZ and you see it's exactly the same thing as we have in the RadialZ app as a reference. And what it's telling you is to set exactly the same key that you set up here into the load brush. So we're going to assign a hotkey. And I wanted to show you this just in case you don't know how to assign shortcuts in ZBrush or hotkeys. And it's really, really simple. And all you need to do is press the Control, the Alt, and the left click on that button. And now you see at the top, it says, press any key combination to assign custom hotkey or press Escape or mouse button to cancel, right? So what we need to do is before you touch anything else, even like a mouse click or anything, we're just going to press the F8 that we assign in RadialZ. So I'm going to press F8 and that's it. Now, if you hover over the load brush button here in the RadialZ plugin, you'll see that it now says F8. So that means that we have exactly the same shortcut assigned here and as well as the one that we assigned here in RadialZ. This is absolutely crucial. Now, the final thing to make sure that this whole setup remains the same and you don't have to do it again, because if you look here at the top, it says this is a connection that only happens once or you only have to do it once. But the final third step in order for this to work and to continue to work is that you save this shortcut that you created here on F8. So to do that, we're going to go to the preference palette. We're going to open up the hotkeys and we're going to click on store. So this is going to store a file that has this and any other custom hotkey that you have assigned. So the next time that you restart ZBrush, that hotkey will be already there and RadialZ also have it. So again, you don't have to touch that anymore. Now to wrap up this video, I'm going to go ahead and close this plugin palette here. We don't need that anymore and you're likely not going to need it at all. But the last thing I want to do is to sync the library so that I can see some icons and my brushes appear so that I can set up my menus. I'll cover that in another video, but I'm going to show you how to sync your library. So in previous versions of RadialZ, we had a button here that you can click, sync library, and it will create the library for you. However, this is not something that you need to do anymore. We just kept the button in there in case you want to use it. However, the best way would be to do it from the app itself. So let's go ahead and minimize ZBrush here. And then let's go back into the ZBrush setup. Again, this is kind of like the final thing to do. And you'll see this brush library with a sync. So right now, nothing is synced, again, because we just installed RadialZ and we just set up the bridge. So we don't have any brushes, right? So I'm going to click on sync library and pay attention to what's going to happen here. It's going to look for all my brushes. It's going to extract all the thumbnails and it's going to display them nicely. That's it. So it tells me that the last time I synced this was just now, right? At 9:50 a.m. and I have 461 brushes, right? So this tells me that everything worked just fine. I have my brushes library synced and I can just go ahead and start creating my RadialZ and start sculpting in ZBrush. Again, I have dedicated videos to show you how to do that, how to set up your library, and how to create your own custom menus. So I'll see you in that video.